Hey everybody, spoiler day 4. We got a small teaser, so let's get right into it. Alright, so I know what you're thinking. If you watched the teaser already, there's actually a pretty small amount of information we got about this relic. There's a lot of things that are missing, but this is where the static analysis is going to come into play. So today I'm going to cover the relic, we're going to do some comparisons to maybe some previous leagues and some existing things in the game, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the Relic Tier and where I think it's going to sit, and then I'm going to give you my teaser analysis where I really kind of break down the video into a few components, and then lastly I have my thoughts, and this is probably one of my favorite teasers, so definitely stay tuned for that. It's really surprising. This relic is just so awesome, and I'll tell you why. Alright, so we have this new relic called Undying Retribution. Pretty much anytime you're about to take a death, a finishing blow hit, you're going to heal back to full, and you're going to do a massive amount of damage to the enemies nearby. Aside from that, we pretty much have essentially no information than what you can see in the teaser video. But one thing I want to remind you is that this is a great way to kind of cheat death and forgive your mistakes. And if you remember what I talked about and the reasons why to play leagues is, one of them could be to learn. So this makes the game a lot more forgiving. The one thing I want you all to remember is to stay calm. When you make that mistake, Jagex is going to forgive you if you chose this relic. So stay calm, don't panic, you're going to be healed back to full, and just kind of keep going and try to finish that boss, right? So let's compare this to some of the existing mechanics and some relics that were in the past. In Shattered Relics, we had this relic called Absolute Unit, where you would take 50% less damage, and you would return 100% of that damage that you reduced back to the enemy. Funny enough, I actually killed Jad by using this by pretty much being really bad at the game and being off prey the entire time, just reflecting my HP to Jad and just eating. Don't recommend that, and you won't be able to do that with this game because we don't know unless, if there's like an infinite cooldown, or there's no cooldown, then you might be able to. And also we have a prayer in the game already today that does Retribution, which is 25% of your prayer level will be damaged upon death. Now, you don't resurrect with Retribution on, so there's a key difference. The one thing I'm wondering is if you turn on Retribution, will both Retribution and the new relic hit the boss for just a little bit of extra damage? We don't know that yet, right? We don't have a lot of information. So, relic tiers. I know when I did my last analysis, I give my prediction as to where some of the relics and tiers and bonuses will kind of sit. Now, here's the picture of the Archer's Embrace relic animation and the Undying Retribution. They look almost exactly similar, except that little carrot is a little bit taller on Undying Retribution. So there might be a chance where Undying Retribution is at a different tier in the relics than the combat ones. I'm really hoping it's not the same tier as the combat relics. Also, these animations might still be getting touched up on, and we don't know. There's still 10 days left for the league, so they might just be finishing those touches and then changing those animations, or they just might be the same animation for multiple tiers and so on, right? So we don't know that. Keep that in mind. One thing is your choices are really going to define how your experience is. So if you do pick this relic, that means you're going to be sacrificing some other relics. So just kind of keep that in mind. It is a really exciting relic, and I'll get into that in my thoughts in a second. So teaser analysis. So I kind of broke down a lot of screenshots from the video, and there's a lot of good information here. Number one, it heals you to full. That's really important. It's not like a partial heal or 25% heal. It is a full heal, right? It's not like the blue prayer, right? For whatever reason, I can't think of the name right now. But it will heal you to full, which is awesome. Another thing is we don't know what the damage is like. The damage is still TBD. In here, we see Jad take 168 hit. Now, based off of that, and your player's HP is about 61, my guess is that it's going to be about 3 times your hit points. So if you multiply 3 times 61, you get 183. Now, the reason Jad only got hit for 168 is that was how much health was left in Jad's. So we don't actually know what that max hit is, but if it's 3 times your health, you'll be able to hit that 168 and then a little bit, right? So just keep that in mind, and if that's how the math works for the relic, then it's going to be whatever. Again, 100% prediction. We'll wait for the real details to come out, but just a thought, right? Another thing is we don't know the cooldown. We don't know if it's 1 per boss, 1 every 10 minutes or whatever. I don't know if you can do some janky thing where you accidentally use this relic, then you just kind of sit AFK in a safe spot in fire caves until the cooldown goes, and then you can go back and continue safely fighting the rest of the monsters and then Jad eventually too, right? So just keep that in mind. We don't know the details of the cooldown yet, but that's something to keep in mind. Also, the animation pretty much goes for about a little bit over 2 seconds, so that's approximately around 4 ticks. I don't know if that's important, but for those of you who are some tick manipulators and doing some crazy wonky things, just keep that in mind. I don't know if that's important, but it might be to some of you. And one thing I'd really like to point out is prayer stays on. So where this applies is, let's say you're fighting, General Gerardor and your bandos and you have 4 minions. Imagine just praying mage, letting Gerardor hit you with a big range spec. You use the relic, you regen, and you do a massive amount of AoE damage to kill Gerardor and 2 of the minions. And you kept your Pray Magic on, so then it's just the mage minion that you just have to go off and finish. But now you've just smashed 2 minions and Gerardor, right? That could be really important, and by keeping your prayer on, you're able to continue to stay alive, right? And then, of course, in the Jad fight, for example, if you did a bunch of damage, but you didn't have Jad fully dead, then Jad will take a huge hit to kind of help you, and you'll stay alive, and you'll heal to full, but you'll still be on pray just in case his next attack is range, right? So that's really important to kind of keep in mind, is that your prayer doesn't turn off during this relic's effect. Cool. So why do I love this relic? This animation of this player dying to Jad was literally me about a year or 2 ago. I quit the game because of spending an hour in Jad, getting really sweaty and getting nervous and messing up the prayers and then getting one shot, right? So I can 100% relate to this experience, and I think many of you who are like me, who are probably following along with this series, who are kind of, the early mid-game, early beginner players, you've probably faced this experience, or you might face it in the future. And this, the first thing I said, make sure to stay calm because this relic is going to save you, right? If you know one of the reasons why I'm playing leagues, it's to learn the game. And this is pretty much one of those best perfect training wheels for you, right? And just keep that in mind. It's going to be a great experience, hopefully, to kind of use this as I messed up once and get me out of jail free card. And that's just like a perfect training wheel. So remember, once it happens, you made your mistake, don't worry. Stay calm, collected. Watch the boss, read the prayer switches, switch the next prayer, and you'll be fine, right? And this is great, right? So I'm super excited about this relic. I'm so glad Jagex has a Jad savior relic, that's what you want to call it, because they're using this Jad animation. And Fire Cape is one of those great daunting tasks. But again, thanks for watching so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you like the kind of detailed breakdown of this teaser. There's a lot of information we don't know, but there are some nice things that we can kind of pull out of this. So again, if you'd like to follow along to all the teaser analysis updates from all the spoilers every day, definitely subscribe. If you found this video helpful, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you have any feedback or ideas, I'm open, and please share in the comments below. Thank you.